Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Mount and Blade to Bannerlord, and oh boy do we have a pretty epic video to dive into today. So if you guys did not know, the brand new beta patch has recently made its way over to Steam for Mount and Blade Bannerlord, and it is a big one. This is 1.7.0 and I'll show you guys exactly how to join this beta at the end of the video. If you're a complete noob at it, don't worry, I'll show you guys step by step at the end of the video. But this update brings in a wealth of things that so many people have been asking for, and it's actually really good. So if you've been thinking about starting a brand new campaign, this is definitely the patch to do it. However, keep in mind that it's going to be getting patched because it is a beta patch, so things will be updating, and that might cause a few save game issues. It doesn't normally break your save games, so just keep in mind that it could, I guess. So the first thing that this patch does go ahead and add in is the much anticipated battle terrain system. If you guys have not heard about this, basically how the battles work at the moment is whenever you fight a battle on Calradia on the campaign map, it goes ahead and generates you a map depending on where you are. So for example, if you're in the forest, it will go ahead and pick one of the 7 or 8 forest maps that the game has, and it will just give you one randomly. However, now what the game does is it has these maps allocated to certain regions. So if I fight in one place 4 times, I'm going to get the exact same map 4 times, and it's going to try and represent the terrain on the campaign map. If you guys ever played Rome Total War 1, that's what that game did pretty heavily, and it's absolutely amazing. So now I can really focus on picking my engagements. It makes the campaign map so much more tactical. If I've got a small force of maybe 500 soldiers and I'm being chased down by the battalion forces of over 1,000, and I'm like, oh my god, what do? I run into a cavern somewhere with a nice tight passage, and I go ahead and I make my stand as Leonidas for Great 300, or in this case the Great 500, and we use that against the enemy. Like maybe I'm fighting with Kuzites and they're huge cavalry. That's a good place again to go ahead and find a mountain pass somewhere where I can hold them back and repel their forces. As well as that, they've added in over 23 new maps to the game, which again, I think a lot of them have been bridges. I'll be showing you guys some footage on your screen right now of my stream last week where we checked this patch out. And you can see they've added in a bunch of new bridge matches, maps, and as I said, they've added in 23 new battle scenes, and that's including the 72 that they already have, or including that they have 72 maps. So I assume what they've done is they've gone ahead and reorganized the other maps that were already in the game again to better fit the terrain. So instead of it just being randomly placed, they've kind of placed, okay, this map it represents this region, and so on and so on. As well as that, as well, with the battle terrain system, the direction you're attacking also matters. So depending on where you are positioned on the campaign map will actually orientate you on the actual battle map itself, which again, really cool. You can kind of have a lot more decisions. But this is not the end for the battle terrain system. They stated that this is just the beginning, and they are planning on constantly adding in more maps throughout early access. So hopefully by the end of it, we'll have like something like 200 maps, and fighting on every place in Calradia is going to feel super unique and interesting. And we actually did have a very exciting bridge battle as well. So I think the bridge battles are going to be really awesome. And this leads me into my next point, and that is the brand new deployment screen. So whenever you have over 20 soldiers in a battle, you'll be greeted by a brand new deployment zone, which will allow you to completely reorganize your forces, assign commanders, and actually set preferences for what you want in each group, which is again is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I just think it's really dope the way they've done it. This is something that's been much needed, giving you more control over the battlefield, at least at the start. I personally would love to see this being able to be jumped back out to midway through a battle or something, because I think it does add a lot more tactical gameplay. And I definitely get the kind of hardcore warband veterans who do want to just be that one soldier on the battlefield, but as someone who's been using RTS camera for the past 2 years, I think it'd be a really nice change to be able to zoom out, or at least have an option to zoom out and access this screen in the midst of battle. But again, yeah, sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent then. I didn't really explain how it works. So yeah, when you have over 20 soldiers, you get brought to this screen, and you can basically assign all of the different groups to your soldiers. You can add in more infantry groups. Say you want to split your infantry before the battle starts, or you want to split your cavalry before the battle starts, you can go ahead and do that. You can also go ahead and click the little buttons to the right where you can actually assign what you want in them groups. If you want the infantry to focus more on the spears and the shields, like you want more shielded infantry, that can be like your shield wall on the front lines. I mean, maybe you want your spears at the back defending away from the cavalry, you can do that. Or maybe you could even split your spears off into 2 separate groups and have them on the flanks guarding either side of your archers. Stuff like that is way more possible now, and it's so much easier to do from this screen. Beforehand, it was super finicky. You'd have to go into the commands and go transfer units, and it was just really, really weird to do so. Like, I think that'd be a really nice thing. Like, maybe you go to transfer units, and it brings you to this screen, slow-mos the battle, and you can just quickly go ahead and maybe readdress new units. So this is a great feature. Absolutely love it. As well as that, you can also now, when assigning commanders, if you press Alt, you can actually see the bonuses they give to said formation. Beforehand, it was just like, oh yeah, you go on this formation, you go on that formation, but now when you press Alt, you can actually see everything that affects them, and this is really cool because it allows you to actually like kind of think about, okay, I actually want a really good infantry, like kind of someone who's good at sword, two-handed, maybe a good shield person, someone with good athletics, and I want them to, you know, command my front line every single time. So that's so awesome, especially in big battles as well. When you're commanding armies, it's really cool to be able to assign you certain characters. And one of the great things as well is that this saves from battle to battle as well. So if you just fight one battle and then you fight another one, it will try to recreate what you've done as best as it can. Obviously, when you're in an army and then maybe you go solo for a bit, you'll have to readjust it, but still super cool. And yeah, really impressive. One thing I would also like to see them do is actually give you the ability to switch around the numbers. By just like a little like switch button or something, so you can switch formations, because I found it quite annoying when the game starts you with infantry, archers, cavalry on 1, 2, 3 on your commands, and then you have to kind of assign another infantry, and then you can't move it unless you can't move like the archers to like slot 4, so they'll be under number 4 in your commands, because you have to go ahead and create another archer unit to be able to transfer them and then move it back. So it would just be nice if there was like one individual button that just allowed me to switch around the formations to the appropriate numbers on my keyboard so I can command a bit more efficiently. That's like my only complaint. Like that and being able to do it mid-battle would be awesome. Maybe the mid-battle thing could even just be like a certain skill tree. Maybe when you hit like 150 leadership, you get this ability. So the next one is going to be the new siege fixes. It's kind of crazy that there's so much in this patch, which is awesome, that we're only just getting to the siege fixes. So they have now gone ahead and fixed the way that siege towers and ladders work. They should work pretty much perfectly now. We ran a couple tests again over on my live stream, and there was a few issues with them where the soldiers were trying to go up the same ladders. Besides that though, they worked great, and it only took them a little while to figure out how to fix it. So it was like maybe 10 seconds of them fanning around the bottom of the siege tower, and we're like, okay, yeah, no, sorry, this siege tower, this ladder is in use, and then they decided to go to the other ones. So it's great to see them fixing that. That should make siege towers way better to use and actually way more effective like they are. I've personally been using the siege tower fix, which obviously went around it a different way, but this is actually a proper legit fix rather than kind of like a band-aid that the siege tower fix modder did do, which was absolutely amazing. I love that mod so much. But it's great to see Tailworlds addressing this and not leaving it to the modders and actually going ahead and doing it themselves. And hopefully this will go ahead and allow them to do way more with sieges in the future. Like, I want to start seeing like more siege towers, more ladders, more attack points on these battle maps. You know, if it's like a level 3 settlement, let me have maybe like 4 siege towers and a couple of ladders. Let me really assault the settlement from every single position now, because I think that was one of the things that was really holding back sieges, was that like they were just pathfinding was broken, none of the equipment worked. And over the past couple patches, we got the ladder fixes and now the siege tower fixes, which I'm sure will again get, you know, tightened up. And I think one of the main problems were the actual siege maps themselves. They went in and I think they redid like 24 new scenes for siege maps. I think they originally just kind of the maps themselves were quite messed up, and they've gone through and fixed that, which again is really, really awesome. So yeah, sieges are now fixed. You can dive in and play that along with the new battle terrain system, along with a new deployment. So you can actually set like a squad of very elite two-handed swords now with that deployment screen to maybe move in and smash through the gate, or get like, you know, just kind of a full army of axes to go through right away. Stuff like that is way more possible. So now a few minor things, I guess. Like, they were the three big hitters in this patch. There are a bunch of other minor things. So now when you're giving orders in the midst of battle, the game now goes slow-mo, so you're not going to be worrying about getting like kind of sniped by a couch lance or something, or an archer kind of volleying in whilst you're busy commanding. The game will go slow-mo whenever you try and do a command. This is also a toggleable ability as well, so you can turn it off if you really don't like it. They've added in way more ambient NPCs, sounds and actions in towns and taverns. If you go into a tavern now, it's actually pretty lit. There's people dancing, getting cronk, and just, you know, drinking that butter to the morning. That is really, really epic to see. And also now just in towns, I noticed way more people moving around. Again, I would like to see maybe like more life and more bustle. There's carts, traders moving around. That'd be really cool to see for sure. So yeah, that was definitely the tavern improvement. They've also changed up the way morale works. So now you'll be able to see actually in battle on your unit cards in your battle groups. Each unit has morale, and morale has been completely changed as well. So that should be a bit more effective. You should be able to break enemy units a little bit quicker than just killing them, especially in the big old battles. They've also gone ahead and changed up a few perks. They've completely revamped the charm skill tree. It is way better now. There are a bunch of really interesting things in there. Definitely still some things that are like, why would I ever pick that? Or, you know, a few things that's like, oh, it's going to take me the entire campaign to get there, so it doesn't really matter. But there's still a lot of effort put into it, and there's a lot of kind of perks now that give you more relations, which I think the game was so desperately needing, was the ability to, you know, build more relations with other characters in Calradia. You know, like if I fight alongside someone for like, you know, an entire campaign, they should be a plus 100 to me. You know, we fought side by side, and now the game has charm perks to represent that, which I think is really cool. And again, if I fought against someone the entire campaign, they should really dislike me. You know, we actually create this kind of nemesis, this rivalry, which I feel like the game doesn't really have. But as I said, the charm tree does help out now. They still need to revamp the experience gain so you can actually feasibly get to level 300 without just like solely grinding on it. At least on a couple skill trees, because right now it's really bad. Like I've played, I don't know, maybe 20 campaigns on Bannerlord, and I think I very rarely ever got to level 300 passively. Even going for some of them, I very rarely got to them. So they definitely need to go back in and take a look at kind of leveling that up. Like, because I feel like you should definitely always make it to level, make it to level 300, or maybe a couple traits. You know, not all of them, of course, but maybe you can like favorite a couple of them, which I guess you kind of do with a focus. But yeah, maybe you like specialize in like 3 or 4 traits, and they're like, they really, you know, grind the experience very, very quickly. Would be nice. Or maybe as the game goes on, or as you get further levels, like you specialize into these, and then it kind of counterweights the you already being a high level. Something along them lines, I think, would be a really nice change. So besides that, we have a few minor changes to crafting. Crafting's gone ahead and got a recently crafted window, which is nice. So if you make an epic sword and you totally forget how you made it, you can just go ahead and click that. The AI will now also take into consideration cohesion when they're sieging a castle, so you won't have an army sieging a castle and then breaking apart midway through. That will no longer happen. They've also gone ahead and updated a ton of quests. There's like 10 quests that have been updated, and a ton of bug fixes as well. Some new armors have been added. They've gone ahead and changed up a few stats and balancing things, but that's pretty much it for the update. I say pretty much it was an absolutely humongous one, and definitely a patch where you guys should come back and check out the game again. You know, it could be worth just waiting a week or two, allowing a bunch of mods to update as well, because that's going to be a little while. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this patch down below in the comments. Is it something that you're going to be playing the game again for, or are you going to be waiting until it comes out of beta? Let me know in the comments, and then real quickly, I'll show you guys exactly how you go ahead and download this patch. So all you have to do is go over to your Steam library, right click on the game, go down to properties, then you go down to betas, you go ahead and click this beta icon right here, you scroll all the way down till you find 1.7.0 and you click it. The game will then go ahead and download the appropriate files for 1.7.0. Then when you feel like you're done with this patch, maybe you want to go back to playing the current kind of non-beta one, maybe it's really buggy or something, you run into some kind of bugs, you just want to go back and play the normal one, you can just go ahead and click none, and then it will re-download the current patch, whatever it is, whether it is, you know, 1.6.5, I think that's what we're currently on, or maybe this becomes a live patch and then you can revert back just to normal, then you just click none and it will download whatever is there. Also, if you're ever having any issues after doing this, all you have to do is go to local files and hit verify integrity of game files, and then that will scan your game and make sure you've just got the appropriate files and delete all the none ones that shouldn't be there. So this is always a good thing to verify your game whenever you need to. So yes, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of the patch down below. Drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.